can you speak for me? Just one, two,
Hello?
three, four, five. If you want to check on her mic and see if it's.
I'd be ashamed to do the whole thing. Yep, we're good. It's on.
Can you talk one more time for me? Just.
Hello?
It's
Nope.
not reading through now.
Mm. This could be why.
I'm gonna turn off my.
Give me another test.
Hello?
Yeah, it's going now.
There we go.
We're good.
Let me turn my phones off. So what class is this for?
Our MassCom capstone class.
Very nice.
Yes,
In
yes,
order to
yes.
graduate and be young producers and reporters.
So this is like one of y'all's last big projects.
Yeah, kind of.
One of the last few. We have like, what, 2 every month?
Mm-hmm.
So, and
So
each
2
one's
little,
pretty big.
I guess, interviews or video.
Yeah, exactly.
But this
That's
one's like a
awesome.
group effort. So
Okay.
this isn't as horrible.
Yeah,
I
no,
feel.
this one's been
I feel
pretty
like
good.
this one's pretty good.
Oh, that's good. Awesome.
So,
So
yeah.
y'all are both seniors?
Yes.
Okay.
So, can you just give me your whole name and
Okay.
spell it out for me?
Lauren Reagan, Lauren, Reagan,
And your official title.
Director of Sports Nutrition.
All right. You want to go first, or you want to?
Yeah, I just kind of want to ask about the nutrition center, just kind of why you feel like it's going to be a added benefit for the student athletes on campus.
Well, as student athletes, they've got pretty crazy schedules. So just the fact that we'll be able to provide them in one location where it's convenient is huge. Somewhere that's kind of in proximity to where they're always working out, where they're always practicing, even competing. So that's a really big benefit to the athletes. But then aside from that, people don't realize the importance of nutrition on their performance. And so a lot of people say, oh, they've just got to eat a lot of food. Well, there's a lot more to sports performance and to them improving each day body comp wise and in their sport than just what they do in a weight room or with their coaches. Although those are huge, you have to add in with the athletic training and how they're recovering and how they're healing their bodies, and then nutrition and what they're actually fueling their bodies with. And so we'll be able to see a lot more of what they're getting and have control over the quantity of the food, but then the quality of their food they're getting too. So aside from just getting enough calories, we'll be able to know they're getting what their body needs at the right time of the day, and that's really going to support their performance and their goals that they have.
And how's that going to work? What kind of services are going to be available at the center?
So we're going to have the actual dining area in the nutrition center, and then there's going to be another fueling station. So you may have seen fueling stations. We've got one in the football operations building, one in the Cox Academic Center, and then one in the stadium weight room. So we'll have another fueling station where as they're even leaving a meal, they can be able to prep for a snack later on down the road, a few hours later, or maybe for the next morning. Or if they're just walking through, they're not getting a big meal, they'll have that nutrition as well, that nutrition center just for quick snacks, a smoothie, something that just benefits them before practice on their way out to whatever facility they're heading to, depending on their sport. And then in the dining area, we'll be able to have different stations for them. So there will be a salad bar. There's going to be stations that, even a little bakery portion of it, but then areas where there may be barbecue, there may be Asian stir fry, there may be a pizza station, and it's really customizable where if they want to make something healthier, they can make that healthier. So they don't always have to be bound to a few options. They can kind of customize it for their performance and what fits the size of plate they need, the portions that they need being, maybe a gymnast needing half of what a lineman may have on his plate. So it'll be more customizable, fit their individual needs as opposed to kind of a one-size-fits-all that you might get in some areas.
Right. That's really all I needed to ask.
I have 2 more questions about that could help you out. Instead of meal plans at like the 459, are athletes going to have meal plans over there instead?
So yes, it'll be kind of incorporated in, and that's some of the logistics that are still being worked out. Some of the administrators may have more of those answers than I would, but it will be considered either a training table meal or more of their meal plan options. So rather than, some of them may go to the 459 or the 5 right now, they would go to the athletic or the Tiger Athletic Nutrition Center, the tank, instead.
And then I know Jamie said something about possibly like doing cooking classes, so when they graduate they'll know how to enter the real world and maintain
Yeah.
that health. Can you talk to us about that too?
So in one of the portions, I was kind of touching on the different stations that they'll have, and kind of there will be, I guess, cooks or chefs there that can actually make their meal right in front of them. So there's going to be one area where there will be even a little video that can look down, kind of like what you may see in the cooking show, where it's going to show what's happening down on the table, maybe on a screen or something, where they can really see what's going on and how their food's being made. So that's going to teach them. We'd be able to do cooking demos and whatnot, but even the way that it's going to be set up, when they're watching somebody make their food, they're still learning those concepts. So they'll have the little skillet right in front of them. They'll be telling them what to put in, maybe the stir fry, or if it's even just, putting on their pizza and putting it in the oven, I don't know, whatever it may be, they'll be able to catch on to those rather than it being pre-made. In some cases it will be and kind of be in their trays, but a lot of it will be made in front of them really quickly, and then they'll be able to catch on to those techniques and use it down the road as well.
And then I have a few questions.
Okay.
So can you tell us a few things that y'all generally do for the athletes, besides the fueling stations and the new complex that y'all are building?
So as a sports dietitian, myself and my assistant, we do a lot of providing of food, so making sure they've got their snacks or their recovery products around activity. Then we do a lot of education as well. So whereas we're giving the food when they need it, we're also being able to provide education. So very two different jobs. A lot of times people would look at us and say, oh, that's more of a, she's feeding us. If you think of in elementary school, you've got what we would call our lunch ladies. And so they're always giving us food, making sure we're taken care of in that regard. So we do a lot of that with the help of our fueling stations and all of our student workers, but then we do a ton of education as well. So that's sitting down with the athlete one-on-one, having them across from you and being able to educate them for their performance goals. So rather than just saying, oh, eat your fruits and veggies, we can look at their schedules. We can see kind of where they're having trouble getting lunch or what their performance or body composition goals are and really fit their needs one-on-one, saying, okay, well, I may encourage something like this type of meal plan for a lineman. I'm going to encourage this for you instead, so they understand the differences in quantities, the nutrients that they're needing for their sport as opposed to maybe other sports. So letting them understand that it's never a one-size-fits-all for athletes is huge. So it's very individualized when we can get it that way. We'll also do team talks. So we'll go in, whole team will kind of be around, and we'll just give basic nutrition education, just more all-encompassing, that they can all catch on to little trends of what's going on in nutrition and how they need to be fueling their bodies. And we'll also do grocery store tours. So sometimes that's going to be the team. A little while ago, I took some of the freshman swimmers to the grocery store, and we walked through, and I just told them, how to eat, how to pick the foods from, or how to eat and make the foods that they're picking from the grocery store. But then whenever you walk in, understanding how overwhelming a grocery store may be and how to kind of pick out items that are going to fit their performance goals and benefit them rather than just going down the snack aisle every time because it's easy to grab whenever you're at home. Also, we'll do that one-on-one. So if, like I said, if I'm in a one-on-one consult and I see an athlete doesn't really know how to grocery shop, instead of, going with the whole team, I'll meet them at their favorite grocery store and walk through with them. We'll get the items that fit what they like to eat, fit the meals that they're going to be needing to make that week, and then we know it's customized for them. They're learning how to pick the foods they're more likely to grab, their staple items, and it's more tailored to what's going to help them. So,
is this individualized program or activities, are they required for your athletes?
they're really not. I mean, I guess in some cases it might be. So just as, they're going to be required to show up to lifts or to show up to practice or a team meeting with their coaches, if it's something where it's important that they meet a performance goal or a body composition goal that supports their sport or their health and well-being, then a lot of times it'll be highly encouraged to come in and sit with a dietitian. Now, you're not going to find many athletes that go, nope, I don't want to do that, because they're here, they're collegiate athletes, and they really do want to improve in that regard. So they're going to be just as willing to come in and sit with a dietitian as they will be to go into the athletic training room and start to, recover or fix any little tweaks they may have after the stress that they put on their body with the athletic trainers. So in some regard, it is just highly encouraged when we see the need. But more times than not, you're going to have athletes that just walk up to you and say, hey, I want to eat better. Can you help me? And I'll say, yep, come on in. We're going to meet at this time, meet at my office. And then a lot of it, too, is just in passing. So we're fortunate enough to work in an environment where we can be around all the lifts, all of the practices, and that's where we do most of our educating. So they don't even realize they're going to walk in and get a little tidbit of nutrition, but they'll pass us, realize they have a quick question, or we saw they were fatigued at practice, so we can take that opportunity to, walk up to them, spend 30 seconds just figuring out what they had for breakfast or lunch and why they may be kind of hurting during the practice in terms of energy and stamina. So it's never really required as much as just highly encouraged, and then them being motivated and wanting to come in and make it a priority on their own.
So y'all are at practices such as games too?
Yes, it kind of depends on the time of season. So, and the sport. A lot of times we can just kind of stop in, check out the practice, check on the athletes, just kind of be present. That's more times than not the goal there. So we know when they see us being supportive and caring about their performance and how they're doing and seeing how they're performing, which is a reflection of how they're eating and taking care of their body. It makes them more likely to listen to us and really trust what we're telling them, as they should, in terms of nutrition and taking care of their body. And so a lot of it too, in some cases, is they need us out of that practice. So I know during fall camps and football, that's a big one. These guys are really fatigued. They're getting dehydrated if we're not making sure they've got enough out there, and that goes for really any sport. Tennis is one where you really want to focus on hydration out there. Even track, swimming, as crazy as it may seem, they're going to sweat just as much. And so, having at least athletic trainers or one of the dietitians there with snacks or making sure